Hi, I'm back with my skin concept nonsense, and this time it's your guys' ideas. Last time I had a randomizer for each hero and their theme, which I then turned into skin concepts. I did this for 10 heroes, and in retrospect that was a lot. I ended up spending so many hours in creating these skins. On the bright side though, I feel like I improved from that experience. But this time around, I won't make it so serious. The end goal is just to improve, and aside from that, I just wanna make some silly skins. And also this time all of the ideas came from my subscribers, so let's see what that ended up looking like. Canadian Cat wrote a bunch of ideas, and from those I wanted to do Drunker Sojourn the most. I'm so glad this time I have the control over what kind of skins I am working on, and I was feeling pretty energetic with this one. I've myself always been somewhat of a fan of trashy, scrappy, chunky skins and designs. There's just something charming about creating something from stuff that no one wants. It can be an easy way to tell a story of a class system where usable trash exists, an item to be bad enough for one person to throw out, but for another a piece of their home or clothing. While making this skin, I focused on making her feel like she just came straight from Junkertown. Lots of scrap metal, copper, and broken parts held together by spit and tape. Assuming that Sojourn keeps her values and personality as the same in this imaginative version of Overwatch lore, I made this skin in a mind that she would still be fighting crime and not really care for the consequences. I wanted her to look like she has been in a fight or three. There is this faceplate covering a broken mess behind it, a piece of chest protection held by ropes around her back, scrappy hair held together with a ripped piece of cloth. When it comes to art and rendering, this was a skin that I spent a lot longer than I previously for other skins have. I felt like last time I rushed through some of them and I kinda regretted it. Obviously sometimes you just don't have the energy for this stuff, but at least in general I tried to be more diligent this time. When we go from line art to coloring to rendering, I feel like still rendering is my weakness. I don't think I'm horrible, but it's the most lacking currently in my art arsenal. In any case, I like how this one ended up. I like the theme, and this was my first time making a Sojourn skin, and making it was honestly just fun. Hey, quickly just wanna say that these videos take a lot of effort to make, and I would really appreciate if you would, just do the thing. Thanks. Again, someone with more than one idea. This comment felt like I won a prize and I get to choose what option I go with. And from these, I mean not to self-report myself as a disgusting Genji player, but I have to do Genji as Darth Vader. I've never really been into Star Wars, and I haven't been reading anything either, so is it weird that I just by reading these comments realized that it isn't Dark Vader? I always thought it was Dark, but turns out it's Darth. Now that I realize it, Dark Vader sounds horribly wrong. I guess I just never gave it a second thought. Anyway, when it comes to collab skins, I usually like the idea of merging the two characters into something sort of new. This makes making the skin more exciting since I'm not just getting a reference and copying that to a T, and also it gives me liberty from the mistakes I might make. For example, Darth Vader, I really have no idea what I'm supposed to focus on, so I just make the skin keeping the general vibe that I get from the reference in mind. The drawing process of the skin was pretty relaxing. It felt like I didn't have to do so much work like in the Sojourn skin, because there was an existing character for me to reference from. I still tried to make the skin as good as possible by finding a middle ground between Darth Vader and Genji. I think the end result is more Darth Vader than Genji, but I think that's fine. I'm not sure about the cape and whether it's necessary or not. I feel like the skin would be okay without the cape, but also it seems like an important part of Darth Vader. I hope I didn't piss off all the Star Wars fans too bad with this. This is just my take as an outsider of the IP. Never watched anything related to Star Wars other than 3 episodes of Mandalorian. I like the skin, and that's at least something, right? Juno, but she's green and got antennas. Also, some of the characters call her a slur if she got the skin equipped. That's a weird way to put it, but I guess I could try. This skin is one of those where I just didn't want to think about anything and just started doing whatever came first in mind. So obviously, green bald alien that dresses up in Mars rocks. In the Overwatch lore, Juno is from Mars. She was born and raised there, so quite literally she is a Martian. And this skin idea plays into that by making her a stereotypical Martian, which is funny. Also, other heroes calling her a slur by using the word Martian, I suppose, is also an interesting idea. When making this skin, I realized that this was the first appearance of a bald woman in the Overwatch cast, if we count on Echo, but she's a clanker anyway, so who really counts her? I say bring more bald representation to Overwatch. Back to the skin, so this definitely is one of those not serious fun type of designs. I mean, all of these are, but this is that of all the most. There isn't that much detail and overall just a playful idea. I don't know if Overwatch would actually add a skin like this, and when it comes to the skin, I took this with a more unrealistic perspective, having her wear rocks and giving her some weird gadgets made out of I don't even know what it is. It's definitely a unique unique take on a Martian Juno, I would imagine, and I don't really know if I'm happy or not. I hope Kate Flexer at least got what they wanted. Trishy told me with passion to make anime collab skins, but as much as you want skins, you're only getting one. To me, the first obvious option was like Attack on Titan with Genji and Widowmaker, but I didn't really want to go there. Instead, I went to a place a little more quiet. I recently watched To Your Eternity, and by the way, the skin goes for Cass. So I watched To Your Eternity, and it's a show about this orb. It's basically an empty soul that hasn't lived inside a body yet. The orb has the power to gain power from stimulation. Its powers are recreating things it touches and turning itself into them. Also, it's immortal as a nice bonus. The show basically is you watching this orb go from a rock to a wolf to a human and learning how to live life with no base instincts. And I ended up really liking it. The main character is Fushi, and the form it is in the most is this white-haired boy. Based on the design, I thought that Cassidy aesthetically fits it the best. At first I thought Echo would be a good candidate for this skin because she can also turn into anyone, but making a skin from that idea alone, in my opinion, doesn't really work here. I mean, it could, but I just felt like it wouldn't be as effective in my hands. I combined the young and old version of Fushi into this skin, and I feel like the end result is simple, nice, and works. It's a skin that on its own doesn't really say a lot, it isn't very loud, but if you watch the show, you would be more inclined to like it. I mean, isn't that kind of the point with all the collab skins in some scale? So there it is, an anime collab skin. I like it, and hope you do too, Trizzy. Theater Hobo asked me, among other things, for a rockabilly Ash, and I thought that sounded interesting. So apparently, it's a music genre from the 1950s and has a fashion style with it as well. I'm not sure what I'm talking about, but that's all I gathered from Google. The goal for this one was extremely simple, just find out some reference photos and make a skin. I thought of what Ash would wear with this style, and I went with a leather jacket on top of a dress. I think it encapsulates a fancy rich lady with some street rat mixed in. At first I wasn't gonna include Bob into this, since it would be like making two skins for one, but then I realized that's just being lazy and went with both of them. Honestly, I wasn't very into this one. I tried to make the skin as good as possible, but I just didn't have a lot of ideas, and I feel like I made a serviceable but also a mid-tier skin. Also, now looking at it, kinda looks like I just gave up on the rendering, especially when we more closely inspect Bob. I don't know, I just kinda lost my energy with this one, so it feels less excited than the other skins. But that's just my opinion. I guess if Theater Bob likes it, then what the hell, that's all that matters in the end. And there it is, that's all the skins for today. I had fun with your skin ideas and hope to do more in the future. If you have a crazy good idea, then why not share it in the comments? Who knows if and when I'll make another one of these. We'll see. Subscribe, like the video, do all that fun stuff, and I'll see you next time.